Ah, Commander Zog. How was Earth? Zog stopped mid-stride and turned to face the lead scientist.
It was lovely. I really enjoy my time with the Earthlings, he replied before clearing his throat. We have, however, catalogued an anomaly on Earth. An entity living amongst the humans.
An entity, said the scientist, pulling the commander into her office. Tell me more, please.
I don't know, Miss Yulie. It looks like a human, but has these anomalous powers that seem to only affect other humans.
Zog sat down and continued, presenting her with several images of a white male in different situations. I see, but you can clearly see him in the pictures, right? The scientist inquired.
Yes, I can. All of my team can too. He can be captured by video and images, but when those images and videos are presented to a human, the human claims that the video or picture presented to them simply don't show any person inside, the soldier explained, taking his hat off.
Interesting. Go on, Yulie motioned.
Even if the entity is present in videos or photos with other humans or even animals, the human shown the picture will only see the other people or animals in the picture, but never the entity, even though it's also present, sometimes even the very focal point of an image.
How peculiar. It appears invisible, or at least cannot be perceived by humans on images and videos. That does not really make it a threat. The scientist rubbed her chin.
Well, apparently it can go invisible on command, Zog continued, sighing deeply and rubbing his temples.
Invisible?
Yulie raised her left eyebrow quizzically. Yes, the same effect it has on humans through images and videos. It can have in real time, in front of a live audience. My team could still see it, but for the humans, it's like the entity vanished as soon as it quickly waved its open palm in front of its face a few times.
The soldier waved his right hand, palm fully open, in front of his face a few times, mimicking what the entity would do. Ha! Yulie chuckled. That looks a bit silly. Are you sure it really works? Maybe the humans are just lying to you.
We are certain. We tested many different humans, both in terms of gender, age, ethnicity. The only exception to this rule are certain children, who have no prior knowledge of the existence of the entity, and humans with a specific mental development disability known as Down syndrome. For some reason, those humans really like the entity, and the entity is pretty cool with them in return. They sometimes even take pictures together.
Zog pulled out a few more holographic photos and showed them to the scientist. I see. And the other humans know it exists but can't perceive it? She asks.
Correct. It would appear that the entity had full control over its abilities and can go invisible at will, including on images and videos. As if it can choose on which image it will allow the humans to see it, while that image is taken, he answered.
Are there ways of countering or tracking it?
Yulie put the photos down. Yes, according to the humans. If the entity wears a neon green or neon orange vest, it counters the entity's ability to cloak, to an extent. They claim that those articles of clothing are specifically designed to be seen, so they fully counter camouflage, Zog explained.
So, if the entity wore a neon green or orange vest, it would become visible? The scientist seemed a bit confused, as she has never encountered something like that before.
Well, yes and no. Unlike the rest of the entity's clothing, if it really is clothing, the vest would not be affected by the entity's ability to cloak. So, according to humans, it would look like the vest is just floating around.
The soldier tried to explain the best he could without sounding absolutely insane. However, the researcher's facial expression looked like she had already been considering him a bit insane.
Apparently, humans are basing their camo technology on the entity, especially their camo pants. They also warp perception, but in a far lesser degree than the ability of the entity itself, which the camo tech is based on, Zog continued.
So, any indication as to what the entity is? Yulie asked, the story and evidence grabbing her scientific curiosity, even if she was very skeptical.
The entity is a very experienced combatant and in good physical shape. That and its ability indicate it is most likely predatory in nature, probably using strangulation, blunt force trauma, or restriction of mobility to take down its prey, Zog continued.
So humans can never see it coming. I can see how that would be dangerous, the scientist nodded.
Well, not entirely. The entity seems balanced out by a secondary effect, only present when it is engaged in combat or hunting. When it's about to strike a lethal blow or take down an unsuspecting opponent, the humans present will hear auditory hallucinations of a loud male voice yelling warnings or the entity's name, like a battle cry or introduction, Zog continued.
Wouldn't that make the whole invisibility kind of useless?
Yuli tilted her head to the side, thinking about what Zog said. I suppose so, but considering that the audio hallucinations really come out of nowhere and in the moment the entity is about to strike with maximum efficiency, we have come to the conclusion that it creates confusion and even panic in the target, making an attack more successful for the entity. The soldier elaborated further.
Huh. I guess hearing random yelling noises will put anyone in a state of shock, Yuli nodded. Anything else I should know about this thing?
It has a good chance of appearing and going into an attack when its name is about to be mentioned, or when it is being talked about or described to other people. Though we have no solid confirmation on that yet, Zog said nonchalantly.
Yuli didn't quite catch that last part, as she began listing off the things Zog told her, so the soldier could once more confirm it. So, it can go invisible at will, both in real time and when recorder in any format. It emits a few different audio hallucinations, very loud ones, when it is near its target and about to strike. It looks like a white human male. You said his name can trigger it or something? She looked up at Zog. Wait, and his name is what, exactly?
His name is John Cena! Rang out in the scientist's head, as out of nowhere she was tackled from her chair and onto the floor.